joined Sri Lanka Insurance as a medical officer, and then at that time my qualifications were the basic degree MBBS and a postgraduate degree which was a master's in community medicine. Then I started working at the SLIC Medical Center as looking after patients, and also I had to interact with other departments like the life department, workmen's compensation insurance department. Then I had to do third-party assessments for road traffic accident victims. Then I realized that the medical profession alone is not enough, that I had to know a little bit more details on insurance. So I ventured doing insurance exams, which led me to become an associate member of the Chartered Insurance Institute UK. So once I completed this, it gave me a lot of insight for insurance work, especially in medical underwriting and claims, and also managing other claims for other departments. Getting the ACII helped me to get to the next step as the AGM Medical and also becoming DGM Medical. So what I say is how it helps in your career long vision is you've got to be qualified in whatever job that you're doing, and you have to understand your job properly. Then also you have to be committed, very honest in your work, and be very truthful to your company, and treat all your peers, your subordinates equally, and be very empathetic towards their problem.
Positive factors that women career long visions are confidence, competence and contentedness. Additionally, women's success is depend on ability to make difference, professional development, overcoming barriers, networking. When you start a career, you have to have a dream, a vision, so that you should think ultimately who you would be like to become, and what new skills you have to develop, and what inborn skills you have to improve. And you have to have a very mindful thoughts on your company's vision also. Having that in mind, with time you have to improve yourself, stay quite focused. I think it's better to have a role model as well, so that you can learn from him or her and follow him or her. So the most importantly, you have to accept changes throughout. Otherwise it will distract your focus and your vision will be blurred. You won't be able to reach your goals.
I think irrespective of whether you are a man or a woman, the elements which require for you to progress your career would be same. So I think it's the simple economic theory where the demand is high and the supply is less. Of course the price goes high. So I think you have to try to be a unique person where you have multidisciplinary qualifications, experience and knowledge. So I think in my case, I have gained knowledge in both law and finance. So it has made me to be a commercial lawyer who would interpret the company law in the lights of the financial statements, where I have a good understanding on the P&L and the balance sheet. So I think it's all about being multidisciplinary, being uniqueness, and also hard working, dedication, commitments.
As from my experience, I would say a women leader should identify her priorities. That is number one. Knowledge and growth, that is also another important factor. But most importantly, she should not give up at any time. If I may explain further, sometimes a women leader has to make decisions without being emotional. Sometimes have to take one step back, yet she has to bounce back and walk slowly and steadily through her career journey.
Now adversity can be of different natures, like it could be financial adversity, emotional adversity, physical adversity, mental, social, and conflicts among the different value systems. So how, as women, how we can address it? By being very professional in our conduct. We can also develop leadership qualities that will be unbiased and will be treating everybody equally as equal people without any discrimination of any religion, race, or of any difference. Then also we have to have good governance, honesty, then integrity, and develop a good value system among our employees. So if we do these habits and if we have our teams which are all motivated to work and with minimal conflicts in values, then we are able to minimize or overcome this adversity problem of different types of financial, emotional, social, so on.
Women can approach adversity by recognizing adversity as a part of success to process, taking adversity as a positive, and make confidence that the adversity will not last forever. Manage adversity rather it manage you. Facing adversity is life. You cannot avoid it. Only thing you have to take it as a challenge. Especially women are considered the inferior gender, and so gender discrimination, other sorts of harassments at workplace, those are possible, or else you have to face a very difficult customer and you are not given your due recognition at workplace. So you have to face those adversities. The only thing is you have to be very strong. Normally women are considered emotional creatures, and but you have to improve your that nature and be strong in your mind and physically also, so that you have to have a time of your own where you, first of all, you have to love yourself, do what you like most, so that it makes you happy, so that you will regain the energy you spent and be very strong, so that you can overcome any adverse situation. And also you have to be very charm and attractive in your own way. People are attractive in many ways, maybe your smile, your way, the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you walk, whatever, improve your attractiveness so that you can manage people better. So in that manner, in that way, you can have a strong character and overcome any adverse situation.
I think any woman or any man would encounter certain difficulties, obstacles in life, but I think especially being a woman, you have to articulate your position as a strong, knowledgeable and ethical woman, so that you should have the confidence to talk what you believe as right in any forum. So I think in my life, being a lawyer, I have the courage to tell my legal opinion in any forum, being a confident woman, so that nobody would challenge those decisions, though there may be like short-term hiccups, but I think in the long run you can sustain if you are a strong, knowledgeable and ethical woman.
Well, it would be resilience, emotional intelligence, and most importantly, you have to be calm and reflect if you face any issues without being judgmental on the situation or about your colleagues. It is said failures are the pillars of strength. Sometimes you have to take critical decisions, and yet you can't be emotional. A women leader without being emotional is the most important factor.
Now, diversity is when we have people having different ideas, different ethnic groups, different religions, different races and cultures. Now, these people who are working together have different talents, and they have strengths, they have weaknesses. So it is really good to have a diversity in your company.
Diversity means many things: age, culture, race in a workplace. Diversity brings different perspectives of individual to the working environment. Diversity is because there are many types of people from many backgrounds. Diversity exists where there are different cultures, different races, maybe the age diversity is there, gender diversity is there, even from the geographical area where you come from. So diversity is there. Even with my experience, I have experienced diversity at my university life, again at Sri Lanka Insurance where I work. So there are gender diversity is there in our company, and cultural diversity. There are people with many religions. So it is something very attractive, and it's pleasant to work with a team, a diversified team.
I think diversity adds value in any occasion. So if there are different colors, it's like rainbow. So I think whether it in terms of gender or in any other way, diversity brings and adds a lot of value and beauty. So I think when it comes to a working environment, both men and women have their own unique characteristics. I think when it comes to women, they are more towards empathy, and they have more organizing skills. So they are in a better position to meet deadlines and teamwork. So I think diversity in any occasion would add more colors.
It gives a different perception for the same issue. Especially women's view about a matter or an issue or any conflict is totally different, naturally different from men's view. So having a different views and resolve the matter with a collective decision is the beauty of the diversity.
Work-life balance should be balanced according to your capacity. You can't, there is no specific line to demarcate work and life balance. But when you're a working woman balancing your life at home, you have to prioritize your work and work according to a schedule or a timetable. Then you must not waste your time unnecessarily doing things. And you have to always strike a balance between your family. You have to be with your loved ones and family. You look after your parents, because what you are is because of your parents. So all this has to be done with a limited time. And you have to also do your work very methodically.
If you work for objectives, and if you have commitments, and if you prioritize your work, you can balance both work and life. From very small age, we are taught to become great people. From our parents and teachers, they wanted us to be great. So we grow up, we marry, and we have responsibility and duties towards our husbands and children. So my advice is, do not sacrifice one for the other. Keep holding both ends, right? And be focused and committed, and have an attitude that you can do it. So never be a failure. If you let go one of those responsibilities, you are a failure, because if you let go your career, your parents will be disappointed.
I think it's a matter of choice. So being a graduate or a qualified woman, still you may opt to decide to stay at home and be a stay-home mom. So if it makes you happy, that's perfectly fine. So I think you have to think of what makes you happy. But if you decide to pursue a professional career, of course, you have to make sure that you always give the priority to your family, to your husband, to your children. You should never compromise your dedication to them. But at the same time, I think if you properly manage your time, still you can progress your career. But you have to make sure that you have a conducive environment at home to look after your children, somebody to look after your children, and somebody to do house chores, at least cooking, so that you will have less responsibility. So I think in my case, my parents are with me, and they are very hands-on parents, grandparents. So I think you have to make sure that you have a very conducive environment so that you will be less burdened and you can progress your career.
Be decisive. That is the most important factor, I would say. That means a woman leader should know when to say yes, when to say no. If I may explain with an example, simultaneously a company meeting is fixed and a family event is also scheduled on the same day. Then she has to make a decision which event to be attended, or she has to attend both events while managing her time. If she has not taken a decision how to handle that complicated situation, she will be either recognized as an unreliable employee, or her family members, her loved ones may lose trust on her. So be decisive.